Thank you. Perfect. And so now, the woman of the hour. All right, main event. So Joanne Stone has been working as an Agile coach, an enterprise coach, a leadership coach. She's been in the Agile space for 10 plus years. And she is the founder of a company called Wick'd Agility. She joins us out of Canada. I'm going to start a little bit at the bottom because I've learned from working with Joanne that usually she introduces herself first by saying that she is the proud mother of 4 amazing daughters.
Yes, I am.
And her 2 fur babies as well. And she currently does reside in Brooklyn, Ontario. So she believes that obviously a big believer in agility and in her words, the wicked problems that we can solve using agility. So through Wick'd Agility, she uses her vision and to work with local communities and works to, and I think this goes back to one of the comments we were making earlier in our conversation, and that is chip away at this a little bit at a time, the little bits that we can do, and spread the word and find opportunities through conversation and meetings like this. And that allows us to solve the big, huge, gnarly problems. And what are those? Those big, huge, audacious, big, hairy, audacious goals. It's kind of like that, but her wicked version of it. All right. Also, she's established a mentorship program in Ontario. She's mentored over 500 people, which is amazing. And as I said, I actually was fortunate enough to witness her on stage as a keynote panelist at Agile 2022 in Nashville on Agile and Planetary, where she did share that vision of Wick'd Agility. And that was moderated by, of course, our beloved Lisa Adkins. With that, also, you can learn more about Wick'd Agility at get-wicked.com. We'll put that in our chat so you can bookmark that. And with that, I'm going to stop share and I'm going to send that over to you, Miss Joanne. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm totally ready.
All right.
All right. So
I think there you go.
And you might have heard earlier on my dogs. I don't know if you heard that. They're going like crazy because they were being fed. And they are 2 very big snow dogs. So one is the Samoyed, the other one is a Husky Malamute. They are big and they love the snow. So it's pretty exciting times for them here. So I'm thankful to be here. So thank you again, a Woman in Agile Tampa Bay, for inviting me and allowing me to be here tonight to share what's going on in my world and what I've discovered and what Wick'd Agility is about and everything else. If anyone was to pop on to the actual Get Wicked site, I thought it was a great name, Get Wicked. Sometimes it may not be the great name, but you'll probably see a lot of leadership related stuff, which is on that, which is I'm a really big firm believer in the working with amazing leaders and helping them become better in a bigger way. So to make the impact that we need to make. But I'm not going to talk about that specifically, but what I wanted to do is start to share with you about, I'm going to start off with, actually, I'm going to bring up the PowerPoint presentation that I have. We're going to do, by the way, we're going to do breakout rooms and some other things so you guys can get into smaller groups. Can you guys see my screen okay? I got thumbs up. This is awesome. Okay, good. So thank you very much for the lovely introduction too. That was just wonderful. And yes, my hair is like this, and when it gets really fuzzy and it gets even bigger. So I look at that, I always go, oh my gosh, I got so much hair. Okay. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is my fascinations and what is Wicked and Agile, what's the combination of the two, what I see is lacking, what is our role, and how you can potentially get involved or how we can get involved in this. So I'm going to start off with my fascinations. So I look at fascinations versus passion. The reason why I say fascinations is Fascinations to me is something where I'm like an anthropologist, right? Like I want to study it, I want to understand it, I want to break it apart, I want to put it into little pieces, then rebuild it back again. I want to figure out what makes it tick, right? It's something where it drives me to kind of like, it's a puzzle that I need to solve. So I'm trying to figure more about what it means. And so, but that's why I want to mention fascinations versus passions, because it's sort of this energy of searching for what is it all about. So I have 4 fascinations. One is wicked problems, wicked leaders, wicked teams, and how agility and wicked problems fit together, right? So, and when I say wicked, like this is like, there can be wicked good and wicked bad. So there is places in the world where wicked is evil, especially in Africa, by the way. So for some people, they really do not like the term wicked. But for me, the term, I like it because and the reason why why I founded Wicked Agility and why I use the word wicked is because it stands for wicked problems. The other reason why I chose the word wicked is because from you guys from the States know, if you're from Boston or if you're from New England, it's the wicked, yeah. And then that wicked has such a great passion to it, which an energy to it and aliveness to it, that's what I want. That's what I want in our leaders. That's what I want in our teams, right? And that's what we need in order to kind of start working on some of these wicked problems. So first off, I'm going to talk to you about what a wicked problem is and why is agility so important. So people may not know what a wicked problem is, and I just wanted to kind of explain that. So a wicked problem is something that there's a definition on the left by Alan Watkins and Ken Wilber. It's like the 21st century definition. So it's been around, of course, for a really long time. People have defined what wicked problems are in different ways, but this is from their perspective, it's something that it has like multiple stakeholders, multiple symptoms, multiple solutions, like it's always constantly evolving. It has multiple causes to it, right? It's multidimensional, right? But what you may not know about it is that it requires diverse teams. It requires people, you can't have an expert, like an expert alone cannot solve these, because these things have not been solved in the past. These problems may not be actually like what Daniel is talking about. When we look at big, huge, gnarly problems, like some of the large organizations which are out there that are causing a lot of these problems, you know, some of these problems themselves may not be able to be solved in our lifetime. And it could take like climate or poverty, for example, or racism, or I know, Daniel, you actually put into the link the UN sustainability goals, right? Those sustainability, like access to clean water, like it may not have been here are in like for all humanity, but they are actual things which have been there that may not be solved in our specific lifetime. So what are we doing about it? You know, people are working on one problem at a time. So sometimes these particular problems, wicked problems, are a wicked problem within a wicked problem that causes another wicked problem, right? It causes flooding, climate causes this, causes that, and so forth. And so it can cause another wicked problem itself. But the one thing about these things that they can't be solved, they may not be able to be potentially solved in a lifetime. So basically all we can do is engage with it and chip away at it, like what Stormy was talking about. Now, the thing is, because of the fact that it's something that's so complex, right? It's so gnarly. There's so much unknowns. It requires a team that will persevere right through the particular problem or challenge. Like it's like you need to have like this perseverance, resilience, because you don't know what you're doing today is going to make an impact tomorrow, or when it's actually going to be make an impact itself. So what I find so fascinating when I started to look at wicked problems and I start to look at agility, like wicked problems is in the land of the unknown. Hey, we're in the land of the unknowns, right? We tell our leaders, just, you know what? Just you don't plan, you can't plan. Like we don't know what's going to happen next. Like who knew that COVID was going to hit us, right? Like we go into our actual city planners who planned 5 years in advance. Did they know COVID was going to happen? Did they know that they had to have all these different things in place in order to support that? They couldn't plan that out. There's no way they can plan that out, right? So, so you have to be comfortable with the unknowns, which we ask our leaders to be uncomfortable with. And the one thing about this requires this diverse team, this team that it is, working with each other for a pretty long time, right? Which can be really challenging, right? We have worked with teams like that, and we're really great with the dynamics of teams, right? And working with them to figure out how best to work together. Or another flip side that we are as Agilists, we know how to make small slices of work so that we can figure out, we learn from that so that we can figure out what to do next. So I think totally of lean startup in this regard, right? We don't know, we just have to try one little thing and then take it there and then go. And so the one thing that I see a lot is we are influenced by a lot of our upbringing, our educational system, the political system, like all the systems that are out there, which causes a lot of how our behaviors and how we actually work, right? So there is a systemic problem that's out there, which is really difficult to kind of like, we can't just turn the system off, but we do actually need to make changes to all these different things. So it really requires a lot of systems thinking that we have as Agilists as well. Not everybody has it, but there's a lot of people that I know that are in this specific area that think systems thinking as well. And the really cool thing is, we know, so here's, we're in the land of the unknowns. We iterate, we adapt, we have a sustainable pace, we persevere, we know team dynamics, we know self-organization, ... I think they were almost married, the two, the Wick'd problems and agility. Because the one can serve the other. We don't have to be, and how often do we actually go into, our organization and really know, the context of that organization? I'm in a banking organization right now. I don't know everything about banking or loans or how all that works or any other corporate business that they do. I don't know. I don't need to know. I just need to know how to work with a team and be able to coach with a team and work with them to kind of do the little things so that they can solve for it themselves. I can coach them and I can give them techniques on how to do it, right? I don't have to understand the context. The same thing here. We don't have to be the experts in any of these problems, but we should have some sort of passion that's in there. Okay. So enough in this, but that's why, like, I really feel that if you look at the two, that they are actually married a lot and can serve each other for sure. I can see it happening, and I know this is happening out there. So what I want you guys to do right now, I want you to go into Mentimeter just to kind of find out from you guys what brought you here. So you can, type in the code. We're putting it into chat right now, the Mentimeter code as well. And then what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to stop share so I can make sure I can get Mentimeter up in the running so I can see what brought you here. We heard a little bit. I think Daniel, you shared a little bit.
Yeah. So, what was that code again? I put the link in there.
Okay.
What was that code?
Okay. I'll share that. Sorry, I'm going to exit full screen. Okay, so let me share that with you again. Thank you. I just also wanted to make sure I got it up and running.
Yeah.
Zoom.
I wasn't fast enough. I was like, oh, I was there.
That's okay. It's okay.
Okay, let's grab it real quick.
Okay, so that's the code itself.
293 448. Okay.
Yeah, and the link, I gave you the link. It's actually, they can just click on the link. Or if you want to use this by your phone, you just do the QR code. You can pick it up that way. Or you can, type in that one too. But the first link I gave you guys was a Mentimeter link. Is it in chat?
I did put it in chat.
Okay, awesome. Okay, great. So this is so great. So this is learning, opportunity, passion, connection, save the planet. I love that. Environment concerns, curiosity, concern, intrigue, positive change. Great, thank you. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to share. I know you guys may still actually be back. Thank you. Keep on sharing. Okay. So I just want to share with you what brought me here, so you understand this as well. So does anybody know who this is? I know Stormy's going, I don't know who that is, and she's on mute, so she can't even tell. So this is actually Lisa Atkins.
Oh.
Yeah. So I presented, it's actually interesting. So Lisa, I had the fortunate to do a couple things. So one is I had a leadership course that I was teaching within a bank a couple of years ago, and I thought, oh, wouldn't it be nice if I had my friend Mike and Lisa helping me out with a mid-program? And I thought, nah, Lisa won't want to work with me. You know, you kind of go, oh, I know her. She's a wonderful lady. We've known each other for years, that's for sure. But I have my doubts. And she actually said, yeah, sure, Joanne, no problem. And I went, cool. Number one. Number two, what actually started to happen is as we were talking, preparing for this, she was letting me know she's doing a retreat with another lady that I follow who's absolutely amazing. And I said, hey, Lisa, can I go? And she's like, sure. So I like to invite myself to things, by the way. And that indeed has been a big thing for me. So I got invited. I had quite a bit of time with Lisa. We drove for a while. She was sharing with me her whole story behind the book, what got her started. But the one thing that really made me start to think with Lisa, and it really started the seed actually, was Lisa was talking about the fire that was happening in Australia at that particular point in time. And all the devastation that was there. And her thought was, you know, Joanne, it'd be so neat. It'd be so amazing if we had a network of Agilists who can help out with disaster recovery. And at that point in time, I'm going, yeah, well, yeah, I can see that. Like I can see disaster recovery. I can see us actually sitting there. I can see, yeah, that'd be really cool. So what as an anthropologist, I start to, you know, find out. So what I started to do was a series of Wick'd, and I call them Wick'd and Agile interviews. I started with Lisa. She shared with us exactly what she was looking at doing to help and support in this specific area. And her, like I said, her challenge was how do I bring Agilists together? I then also talked to a lady, 911 operator from the New York State, and she does disaster centers and sets up disaster centers in New York State when disasters hit. And I purposely did an interview with her because I was going, how would we fit in that land, right? And so one of the things that Heather started to talk about was in the disaster recovery center, they actually get set up. You know, they do have a playbook as to what they need to do. You know, first, let's make sure that the roads are cleared. Then we make sure there's power. And then I can't remember the third one, it could be communication systems, or we check on the elderly. So they do have a playbook that they actually go in. But then there's of course all the unknowns that they don't know about, and how do they get, you know, there's all those day-to-day activities. So they do a lot of like huddles. They come together every day, multiple times every day, doing stand-ups type of thing. But I was asking her, well, who's actually leading up the group, watching the group, right? Like who is the one who's in charge at the center? Well, the mayor, or the person who's charged of the disaster recovery is the one who's in charge, but he's not necessarily looking at the health of the team. So the one thing that she talked about was, in one of her wisdoms, I get wisdoms from each one of them as they go through. She talked about have a cookie, give a cookie. And so her whole philosophy was, you know, you have to take care of yourself first, and then you can take care of another person. So, and the one thing that she did, and a lot of the other people in that center did, is they looked out for each other. But it just really, it kind of like, it really hit me in terms of, you know, the humanistic aspect of all that. It's all beautiful. And wouldn't it be nice to have another set or another perspective in there, just checking on the dynamics of what's going on, purposely checking on, because it's so complex, right? So complex, right? So, you know, I just, you know, started to jot down, okay, well, if we were in that space, what could we do? Well, we could set up team agreements, we could do team coaching. So I was just like, oh, every single time I started to talk to these different people, and I talked to several of them, I was going, well, what can we do if I was in that particular space? Then I've done quite a few of these interviews. So then what recently has happened is that a fellow person that I work with, actually Ron Laudadio, he's been hearing all these stories. He actually started to take it into his local community. So Ron has a particular problem with his local community, and it is impacted by the climate change right now that's going on. He's from Newfoundland. What's happening is the his particular community board was been running for a while. The person who was in charge of the board was like, we need to bring in more tourism. We need to bring in more tourism. But the community and some of the other board members were thinking that there was something else that was there. So eventually, Ron started to come in. He started to bring lean coffee to find out, well, what is the topic? So it's not just managed by one particular person. He actually then, they found out, well, we need to reach out to the community more to understand what they really want. And what actually started to happen was, which was really, really cool, was they found out that the community, what they really needed was, the problem that they were having was one of their local stores was actually shutting down, and it was ran by someone else in the community. They were shutting it down, and basically the closest store to them was an hour and a half away in Newfoundland. So it was pretty far away for them to get food. The average income for these people is about, I think, around $30,000-$40,000. The average age is over 60, and they can't afford the gas. The gas prices are just ridiculous, right? And that's all due with everything that's going on with the war and everything else that's happening, right? Which is impacting them, so what he started to do at that point in time was, he did this whole community event. So this open space event that they actually did brought up, what they could potentially do as a community in this space. So they came up with the different solutions and stuff like that. Like I recognize that what some of these people are doing may not be something that hits across everybody in the world. Like it may not be something that solves this problem for everyone, right? But what Ron is doing in his local community is making a difference in his own local community to make it better with the conditions that they have right now. Yuta Eckstein is another interesting story for her. She's about, and this is a really cool one, bringing sustainability into our organization. So, not necessarily working with our local communities. Definitely this will work in a local community, but what can we do to bring a sustainability into the organization? So at the team level, she has something that's called comparative agility, I think it is. And basically, which helps with comparing the different sustainability across different organizations. I guess she's trying to set up a little bit of a knowledge and awareness of the different people, what they're doing. But Yuta has a team agreement that you can actually use in the teams, in the team agreement itself. So they can say, this is what I want to do. I don't want to spend all this time on the phone, or I don't want to, what do we need to do in order to make our code a little bit better from a sustainability perspective. So so it's like, it's pretty interesting. And what interests me about this is, I'm a person collecting stories, but what's happening is the more I bring this into community, the more that people are hearing that other people are doing this. And I was on a community call that we set up for this community, and I was letting this other person know that this is what Yuta's doing, and Sabine is doing something too. She took that and she actually did it in her organization. I think it is in UK, it was a bank. And she created a retrospective around the planet. And she was inspired by the stuff that we're doing and others are doing. So it's so cool to see that there's a lot of buzz in this, a lot of things which are happening in this space that we may not be aware of, but that's what I'm trying to do, is build more and more the awareness that's happening. This led me to actually the panel discussion that I had with Lisa. She brought me on board because I've been like bringing all these stories, trying to do this connection of all the things together. And the last one I was at was actually in Lisbon on October 17th, 19th. And that was really exciting. We had people with the Steve Hoyler is working with pumpkins, the pumpkins. Oh, that's funny. Oh, I'll have to remember that. I just said pumpkins. instead of penguins. He's working with pumpkins. So Steve Polar works with penguins, African penguins. And so they're on the bridge of being extinct. He doesn't know whether or not they will be around in the next couple of years. He's actually working with the people in the zoo down there and the community to see what he can actually do. And he's using a lot of open space technologies to bring the community together to talk about, you know, to do a lot of different actions. Like they're very much actionable things that we need to work on right now. Like we can't wait for that 5-year plan. What we have to do is do something now. So, you know, they in community have actually stopped fishermen from fishing a certain portion of the oceans. So that allows for these penguins to start coming back up. Kabir's story is actually, it's a pretty cool story as well. But he started off with, his brother was killed in the Middle East, and it really got him to open up his eyes to what's happening and why would this situation actually happen. It brought him down to a place where people were marginalized. So his theory was this marginalization was actually causing a lot of these issues. And so he went in there to, once he started to look and learn, he actually started to create what's called a mini MBA program, where he then shares how to set up your own business. So for some of these people who, you know, they're a barber, right? Sitting on the streets, right? They have a mirror hanging on the wall outside of a business, and that's how they make their business. And so what he would do is he and his team would start teaching them how to actually manage a business, because they've never had that opportunity before. So so there's a lot more stories which are here, but the impact is incredible. The passion that's out here, guys, for these people doing these things is just off the friggin' charts. And there is so many more that I've been talking to more and more people, collecting more and more of these stories, that it's truly exciting. And this is us at Agile 2022. And there's some, I don't know, Stormy, like, and a news story was just incredible as well. And Sally's, like, it is so incredible. I know you like this totally blows me away. The stuff that the news doing too, right? Like people were like afterwards, just like, oh my gosh, like they didn't even hear what I was saying, because a news was just so potent. The impact that she's making in Africa, and bringing in and teaching the ladies in Africa what Agile is, help them with becoming a certified Scrum Masters, and help them get jobs so that they didn't actually have to go into prostitution to feed their families. Like
I was
just
literally in tears. Like that's not an exaggeration. I was literally in tears. Yeah.
So what I love is that these guys are passionate. They're very much moved. I find that a lot of Agilists are very passionate about different things. Mainly around people. Like that's one of our biggest passions. But they didn't just like be in the emotion. They actually did something as well, right? Which was really exciting. So there is a lot of people who are doing tons of different things, and so I've been collecting the stories. I'm collecting them, and I'm sharing them, and I'm going to share them, and I'm going to keep on sharing them, and I want others to keep sharing them, so that we can kind of like start building this awareness of what we can do as a community, and where we can actually take this to, because we are at really the two things are married well together. So I'm just going to look at the time because it's 7:17. I just want to make sure I have enough time for the rest of the stuff that I need to do here. Okay, so so one of the things I wanted to do was actually talk about this, but I don't think I have enough time to kind of go into it. But Stormy started to get into some of this already. So one of the hardest things is having a conversations around this. Some people can be like I was just talking about, very passionate about it, can get, it really hits them really hard, right? And they feel stuck, or they don't know what to do about it. Or they've got some ideas of what they need to do about it. So what we did is Lisa and I created a conversation template in my reverse around a planetary challenges conversation. We try to make a game out of it. So it'll help people have conversations. So we have these conversation cards, but the cards themselves were created from something else called the bigger game. And so they're really there to kind of help invoke bigger thoughts, bigger actions around what we can do. It's a lean coffee type of conversation. Obviously, there's topics that we put in there, but you can add other topics to it as you're having the conversation with your team. So here's the thing I wanted to ask you guys. So here's some of the discoveries that I have. So personally, this is what I go through, and just like I'm going to replicate what Lisa said, and in Lisbon. And she's very much like, what is happening on the inside of us is really what's driving us on what we're doing on the outside, right? So, and we all know basically it starts with us. So that's why I'm very passionate about leaders. I'm very passionate of all those people that we were talking. They're all like wicked leaders in my mind. I call them a wicked leader because they're persevering. They're doing this thing, even though it's really hard, very challenging, and they have to slug it out in order to do it, right? They're making an impact, right? So, so this is the discovery that we're having, and we're playing. I was having fun with D words, so we're going to play with the D words. So I find that people are in two different camps, okay? And so they're in the camp of this thing is daunting. This is too huge, right? So this, by the way, this is them thinking about helping or doing something in the space of these worldly problems or planetary challenges. So they're in daunting that this is way too big, or I doubt that, you know, I can make a difference, or I can do anything, or what we do is going to make a difference. Disappointment that no one else is doing it, for example. Or they can be in what I would call a deep despair, right? So, where I went to in 2020 once COVID hit, and this really triggered me to do so much work in this particular space, is I got to that point where I'm going like, I can't sit here. I can't sit here and do nothing. And I this wicked problem keeps coming back to me. What do I need to do about it? What can I do about it? And I can only do whatever I can do, which is talk. I'm in community a lot. I love going on stage. You know, I love bringing people together. I love sharing. I like filling in gaps, building bridges. The more I can do that, and I'm very determined, right? So it's just like, what can I do in this space to make this impact, to get this done? So this despair, this deep despair that I felt, helped me move myself and shift me into this deep desire to do something, right? So I went through deep desire, discovering what I could potentially do, distilling the information so I could do something about it, and then to actually doing it, right? So being in these conversations, going out there in community, sharing with others, discovering again, I keep on going through and I discover, I get aware of something else and go, wow, this is really cool. This is what I need to do. So the question I have for you guys, where are you today in relationship to that? So if you go back to Mentimeter, you can, I'm going to shift it to the next one. And so you guys can fill in this to say, you know, where am I? And the balls start to pop in soon. There's a delay, discovering. There's got to be people out there that this is daunting. Like that, yeah, disappointment. Yeah. You know, the conversations around disappointment, yeah, we need to talk about it. Like, I'm disappointed. I'm pissed, right? Doubt. Yeah, doubt. Doubt we can make the difference. One of the biggest things that I have, yeah. One of the biggest issues that I have is I want to have that. It's funny, it's that silver bullet. I got to talk to the leader. I got to talk to the head of the council so that they can, you know, and I'm going, I don't know, like, it's just, is that the place to start? Where is it that we should start? Start small, start in a backyard, start big, start where you want to start. What feels right to you to start. Right? Okay. What I want to do now is actually put you into breakout rooms, and I want you guys just to talk about this D scale. And just talk about, you know, your observations, where you are at, if you want to share. or basically anything around it, right? And just have discussions. So this is a kind of place where you guys can go. I'm going to give you guys like 6 minutes. I'm going to put 3 people in a room, and even the yeah, there's some 2 and 3 rooms. So here you go, including co-host. You're going.
Awesome.
Okay,
Yay.
great. All right. Okay, there.
Thanks for joining, Melanie. Okay, so I am.
Melanie had to leave because of a kiddo thing.
Yeah. Okay, I don't think I'm in a room. But I can maybe just join, right? I can just jump in one. I'll go where there's a smaller group. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, frustration can drive motivation. Yes, for sure. Okay, so. Just keep doing it. sure. I got it. I'm still talking. I'm just about to bring people back out. I'll break that one. Oh, that's beautiful. That's really pretty. Honey, I really have to go. These people are waiting to the back. Sorry. You got lots of snow, Daniel?
Not a ton.
No.
And it's actually not as cold as other parts of the country.
You're in
Apparently
Calgary,
it's
right?
Calgary, yeah. We're only about minus 15 or so. Toronto's like minus 25.
Or
I
not.
hope that was Celsius.
Yeah, Celsius.
Yeah.
Okay. Whew.
It's not, it's I don't know, it's like, we're supposed to have a huge amount of snow coming. Also in Buffalo, I think it's a huge amount of snow coming this weekend, so. Oh, great to see everyone back. Thank you very much. Well, how was that for you? Did you discover anything? Hey, there's another
Yeah,
detail.
it was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone want to share their thoughts of that was? What did you find? Was there commonalities? Anything else?
I think, I mean, I'll speak up and say that one of the things that when we spoke about was that when we speak about, you know, making a change and a difference and doing our part in recycling and things like that, there really isn't any tangibility out of that. We
Right.
don't get to see we don't get to see the good that comes from that, right?
Mhm.
Where if we are to, you know, find to team up, to find a group of people who are working towards a goal and chipping away at that, as you said, all of a sudden that goal, and you know, we're seeing those positive wins, which continues to drive and put context around what we're doing, and shows that what we're doing makes a difference, and what a positive driver that can be.
So I'll share a story, and then I'll get you guys to go back in and see what you guys can think and do, and that. So first off, I've been talking to quite a few of the different women in Agile groups and other community groups around. A really cool kind of thing that happened in one of the groups. So one of the groups that I was talking to had I had asked who's doing, you know, a part of some of the conversations that we were talking about. Someone figured out that one of the individuals was actually working with Help to Save a local forest, and they're trying to use Scrum to use it. And so they basically were having challenges and problems because the team was having they're siloing each other. They weren't helping each other out. They weren't, you know, there's a bunch of different little things which were happening. So the team was not functioning well as a team. So I was like going, I like, for me, I'm going like, I'll help, you know, you can't hear. I could help, like, but you know, we must have like Agile coaches here, like in the room. And so what really got me going was actually knowing and seeing that there was people in the community that were doing things, and that, you know, we could actually start having conversations around it to kind of figure out how to do it. Like that was just, it was just like, oh, and the organizers had no clue that in their community that they were doing some of these things already. It was just, it was amazing for me to kind of see and hear. So, so that leads me to like the challenges that I'm seeing, right? So like I see that there's two challenges, like there's the, or instead of challenges, I'm going to flip them around to opportunities. 'Cause this is the opportunity, and we're great for this. This is what gets me. So two opportunities. One is an opportunity in the we space, right? So this is where we can come together in as a community. And we can also, hold on a second, because my daughter's at the side of me. She just popped in. She's just, okay, yeah, just get my normal quarter chicken dinner white.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
Okay.
We're ordering food. How's that? This is what happens, you know, when things happen. It's okay. So the we problem was we're not in community around this. We're not talking about it. We don't know what our community is. We're not having conversations around this really important topic, right? So, you know, and we're so good at it. So why don't we do it? Like I'm going like, we're in this space. So what a great opportunity that we can actually do. And the other one is in the I space. And that one was, we were doing a World Cafe as a group, and we're one of the groups was reviewing a specific, you know, how can we make an impact? What do we need to do as Agilists? And the one thing that they came up with is a couple things. One is we can change the manifesto and add in something that's like a profit, you know, planet over profit, right? Like, wouldn't that be a really cool thing? And the other thing that came up was we're playing small. So what can we do to step into playing big, right? And like what little thing can we do? Like even if it's just helping a local community or each other, or you know, whatever it is, what can we do? I do know that we have the secret sauce. Like that's the way I look at it, that this way of working, which we can actually take into our local communities if we want to, or we can tackle FEMA. We can tackle the government, like we can tackle, like we can sit there and go after UNICEF. We can go after the same things that we are doing in corporations. Why can't we do them in the nonprofit or organizations which are out there as well? And I'm sure someone is doing something in that particular space, right? It's just a question of how much more can we do in that particular space to get them going. So, and I know that they're all still working in this traditional mindset. They're working in this hierarchical mindset, you know, and there's so many great stories of people out there that just kind of like go around them so that they can do it, you know, so they're able to do it themselves. But what can we do with them, right? What can we do to, and so, you know, is there anything? Maybe there's not. Maybe we don't do anything at all. I don't know. So there's a lot that's there, but in the I space, it is around what do we need to do to step up, and that really starts with the inner work. This is about us becoming more wicked and more impactful, right? In my mind, is what we need to do. So, you know, that's one thing that I also work on, is I work with the leaders to get them into that particular space. Okay, so the one thing I wanted to do now is put you back into breakout rooms, and I want you to talk about what is the thing that I can do, or that we can do. So I or we, it doesn't matter, but just dream up. Like it's like, this is, you know, we've seen a bunch of leaders are doing great things. You know, is there something that we can do as a community, or I can do as a person to work on global challenges? So I'm going to put you into breakout rooms again. The same breakout rooms are just going to open up, and I'll give you about 6 minutes to talk and just brainstorm some ideas.
Oh, it was too soon.
It's never enough. I always find it's never enough in breakout rooms. I prefer most participants talking to each other than me talking. To tell you the truth, it's such a wonderful gift. Breakout rooms.
Pro facilitator tip.
It
It's
is.
nice.
Okay, so I've actually I've advanced the Mentimeter slides. If you guys still have Mentimeter up, then if you wouldn't mind just answering the questions, what could we do, or what could I do, and you can put it in there. Let me share again so you can see.
Yeah, I'll put it back in the chat too in case anyone needs that link.
So I was going to tell one quick story. If anybody listens to NPR, in Korea, twice or 3 times a week, they have like, it's kind of like an ice cream truck that comes around to take your trash and recycling. And depending what you want to throw away, like you have to pay extra for like a trash bag, but they'll take your recycling and other things for free into like this little, so it's it would never work here. You know, everybody would be like, oh my God, that's inconvenient. But I was like, man, that'd be so cool. And I would feel like empowered to be like, I have more recycling, you know, but anyway.
I think that's so cool. How can we make it convenient would be my thing, right? Like what's the, it's the barrier, like it's like, what is the, I start thinking, oh, the barrier is the barrier convenience, is what is the barrier, right? So, or what, yeah, it's such a, that'd be an interesting study. I love it. Loving for government to provide financial incentives to companies to recycle and use those parts. Oh, wonderful. Okay, perfect. Start a CM program.
Yeah, so just to give context to that, having a very difficult health journey at one point, not so long ago, there was no change management for me to prepare me for what I was about to deal with. And I feel like it's such a need. Literally was not prepared for what my life was going to be afterwards, none at all. So I'm very passionate about trying to create some type of shift in agility and change management around healthcare to prepare patients and caregivers, what to expect and how they can have the ability to, to support that change, just like we do for change management in our organizations.
I think that's amazing. What's pointing, it dream big, search small. Oh, it's amazing.
That's a great
This is
one.
wonderful, guys. What comes up for me, I actually interviewed a lady, Joanne, from the Middle East, regarding, she's a hospital, she's an interdisciplinary, if you guys have never heard of it before, it's really cool. She's an interdisciplinary practitioner. And so working with the different disciplines of a hospital and all the different, doctors and all their different backgrounds and different departments and all that stuff. She was trying to help with improving patient care during COVID, which was really cool for them to do. So it was really cool. I loved the conversation because I'm always curious about what other people do. It was really neat to see some of the stuff that she's actually doing in that particular space.
That's
So
awesome.
if you want me to connect her to you, that'd be great.
Absolutely. Yes, thank you.
The one thing that what I find a lot of times, guys, which I think is really kind of cool, is there's a lot of people here that get really passionate about a topic, and people are really passionate. I love trees. I am super passionate about, you can see there's a tree book behind me. I'm super passionate about animals and the earth in general. So for me, anything I can do in that particular space, I will. And so I often talk to a lot of people, and there is a real passion. So people have a lot of passion to kind of go into it. And a lot of what I hear and see are people who go into that space. They go in there, they're helping the homeless, or they're doing something that they're passionate about, and they bring in, and they don't even know it, but they bring in agility into that particular space. And it makes a huge impact. And these people that we're working with they don't even realize that what's happening sometimes. To me, I feel that, wow, why can't we build this great awareness of the work that we can do in these particular spaces, right? Because the more that we can do that, what I'm hoping is that what we can do is actually have this in as much as is in our corporations, can we start now oozing it outside just the corporations into our local communities or into these other large organizations which are doing the nonprofit related stuff, or like the UNICEFs or the FEMAs, the areas maybe that we're not in, that is going to help in this specific area of planetary challenges. So thank you for sharing all of this, and I'm just going to look at I'm just going to share something else. I think I just wanted to kind of like let you know some of the stuff that's happening or coming up. So here's some stuff that I think that we can actually do, which is the first thing was finding our deep desire, and I think I can see a lot of that's here. Work with others in your community. I shared a story about, well, if someone else is doing something in our community, could we potentially help each other out? Like, or as community leaders, like, can we actually take projects or identify something at the beginning of next year that I can work on locally, so we can do like little experiments on, so we can figure out how to do it. We can talk more about planetary challenges, and we can really get deep into the questions of if we can't potentially do this, what happens, right? Like, there's a lot of things we can actually explore and talk about in this specific space, and we can share stories and inspire others. Like, when I'm doing it, I'm just one person that's doing this. There's so many people that can do this as well. So, and I mean, the only way that I know how to do this is by doing exactly what I'm doing here today. The thing I wanted to make you aware of is that we did put all those particular projects that I was talking about earlier. Most of them are part of the Agility Impact Tribe, community on Tribe. You can look at what some of these people are doing, so you can actually see the Tribe platform itself and actually join if you like. It's kind of neat because it has call to actions. You'll see Sally Alad is up here at the Sudan Next Gen. She has links to her site, but I wanted to create a place where everyone can kind of see what others are doing. The other thing, sorry.
No, I'm agreeing. I think it's great to just see maybe someone has the same idea that I have, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yeah, just join a cause that's already maybe started and jump on that bandwagon, right?
That exactly my idea was how can we as a group or community volunteer for things, find for places that we can volunteer for, like how can we create like this network. I started this platform with Sally Lada. I'm not sure if it's the answer. It's pretty expensive because there's not enough that's actually here, but I think there's other solutions to the problems that we have to create the social network that we want to create with our communities, with the companies, with the leaders and all that stuff. We also are doing community meetings around this, and so our next community meeting is on November 29th. I have a Wick'd and Agility interview that I'm doing with Cheryl Hammond. If any of you guys know Cheryl Hammond, I'm doing one on Friday with her just to talk about what she's doing in her backyard and what she brought to the table there. So, and then I also have another one with someone from Aldo from Australia next week. So I'm continuing to discover, I'm continuing to research, I'm still on this journey. I'm very much determined to kind of see how just not me, I say I hate saying I all the time, but I'm very determined to kind of develop a bridge or help be with others to kind of, how can we close this gap so we can help people kind of do more of this, right, in this particular space, so that we can make an impact globally. So I'll stop there. I know it's 7:53. I might have the ability to answer one question because the group has to close off. So is there any questions that you may have? And thank you. And I'll share the chat here too. Thank you.
This is so inspiring. I can just say that it just gets me like completely wired now. I'm going to be up all night trying to create that campaign for my cause. And, you know, I thank you for kind of bringing that inspiration back, you know, and sparking us a little bit, I think a lot. So thank you. This is wonderful.
Thank you,
Much
Daniel,
agreed.
yeah, thank you guys, and thank you, Daniel, for that. I'd love to talk more about the open source projects, but yeah, how can we create an open source project, right? Like, how can we actually work? The only other thing I'll add is that myself and a group of very, very passionate people are going to be meeting next week. And we're going to start talking about what we can do as a community next week to kind of like keep it top of mind. So is there projects, is there things that we can do? Like, so an open source project, for example, is there things that Scrum Alliance or anyone else can start, or Agile Alliance, or someone can start funding or help fund in order to do little projects, whatever they may be? We don't know, but we're going to kind of
Right.
start brainstorming. So you'll hear more from us once we start to get that stuff going. But I'll continue like running around with my truck and, you know, the stories and whatever else, and sharing as much as I can, and learning and sharing what I'm learning too from each of these communities, because there's great things. There's great things happening in all of our communities. There really is, guys. It's just, you know, we just don't talk about it, right? So let's talk about it. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen and say, obviously, again, thank you so much. Absolutely inspirational. I think I'm certainly going to be digging in, just like Diana said she was. But likes and links are very helpful for Women in Agile. Please subscribe and share. I'd like to say we have some really exciting speakers coming up. I don't know if they will be able to surpass Joanne here, but we're gonna try, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, keep in touch, really subscribe and share. I think this will be put in the chat as well, so that they can quickly link on that too, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it in there quickly.
Okay, that'll be great.
And I can speak to, you know, who's coming up in January. So, and Joanne, I'm already thinking she might be great as someone to interview. Angie McCourt, who is a previous technology leader, who is now a success and mindset coach, went off on her own and totally just making shifts with, you know, loving your gifts and your authentic leadership. She just published 2 recent books. I mean, she's going to be our speaker. She's my personal mentor, my personal previous leader. I have a long relationship with Angie, but right away, I think she's someone you might want to talk to if you don't already know her.
Yeah, no, love to hear more. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then any obviously then we'll just finish off. Any additional questions or ideas for questions to our speaker specifically? I know she already asked, but I'll give you another opportunity here if you've thought of anything. Also, if you have any specific questions for your Women in Agile meetup organizers here, or suggestions, we're all ears at this point. Would love to hear anything that you might, any feedback or questions, suggestions, that kind of thing.
Right. And look for events on meetup.com. We post them on Tampa Bay Agile, as well as, you know, our own, you know, Tampa WIA. So we might be shifting that all under Tampa Bay Agile in the future, but just, you know, you could always get the latest and greatest on our events there as we start to book speakers. And also anyone who's interested in speaking or knows of someone who'd be a great speaker, please reach out to us. We would love to hear about that. And reach out to those people, or if anyone's interested in becoming a co-organizer. We are really, really excited to grow our community here. So,
Sure.
Yeah, awesome, everyone.
Well, thank you so much. Go ahead, please. Oh,
so
please.
I mentioned earlier that I'm also a co-organizer of a local chapter in Calgary for Calgary Agile Meetup user group. So like if there are some ideas that y'all have that we could potentially collaborate on, you know, maybe we could touch base on something like that. And then likewise, we are always looking for speakers too. So if somebody's interested in speaking at one of our local chapters, hit me up.
I'd love to share the message, Dan.
You okay?
If you want me there, I'll be there. So.
And sorry, did you guys say that you're looking for co-organizers?
We are.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I will be in touch. I'll be in touch.
Okay, great. I'm going to put my LinkedIn information in here too. So just feel free to, you know, reach out to one of us.
Okay. Thank you.
There we go. Yeah. So excited to connect with everyone. And this was so amazing, Joanne. Thanks again so much.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate
Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah,
Really
it was
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Fantastic. On that note, I will say it's a wrap. Have a great night
Yes.
and happy holidays. It's that time.
Yeah.
We get to say
Yeah.
that now. It's official. All right, cool.
All right. Thanks. Have a great night,
Thanks.
everyone.
Bye.
Appreciate
Bye,
this.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
You.